Hello everyone, welcome to JCE eConnect, subject Data Communications, Module 5, and this is Lecture 5. So, in our today's lecture, we'll be learning about the another wireless LAN technology, that is Bluetooth. Most of you have been already familiar with the Bluetooth technology, how it works, but let us understand a brief interesting fact about uh, how this Bluetooth came into existence and how was it named, what is the technology behind it. Okay, just to start with Bluetooth, it makes use of wireless LAN technology designed to connect devices of different functions. It can be telephones, notebooks, then computer, desktop or laptop, or cameras, printers, and uh, nowadays even earphones or speakers, right? And even a coffee maker, coffee makers when they are at short distance, right? And a Bluetooth LAN is a ad hoc network, which means that it is a network which is formed spontaneously on the spot, right? The these device sometimes called as gadgets. Uh, Gadgets find each other and make a network, which is also called as a piconet. Piconet is a small network. Then the Bluetooth was just to tell you brief history of about the Bluetooth. It was actually originally started as a project by the Ericsson company, and it was named after a king of Denmark. He was his name was Harald Blattend, and Blattend in Danish means Bluetooth. Okay, Blatten when translates to English, it means Bluetooth. So the king of Denmark, that is Harald Blatten, he had united Denmark and Norway. That was back in 940 and 981. So today the Bluetooth technology is the implementation of protocol defined by the IEEE 802.15. Okay, that is IEEE 802.15 standard. Now another interesting fact about Bluetooth is that the it was in the medieval rulers that he had also named uh, who had a nickname Blatten, like I said, which is in Danish, and when it converts, it's called in English, it's called Bluetooth. The exact origin of this nickname is up for a debate, but because still the facts are not so clear. But many scholars they believe that the King Harald became known as a Bluetooth because he had a conspicuous uh, dead tooth, a conspicuous dead tooth that literally looked like a blue. So that was another belief that scholars had made. So that's why I said that the exact origin of the nickname is up for a debate. It is not so clear. So moving on, in this today's lecture, we'll be discussing about topics like what is the architecture of Bluetooth, what is the Bluetooth layers, baseband layers, and also L2 cap. We'll shortly know what is L2 cap. So Piconet, like I said, Piconet is a small network which actually has a primary device, a primary station. Piconet is a Bluetooth network. A Bluetooth network can be called as a Piconet or a small net, and it can have up to 8 stations. One of which is the primary, and rest of the stations are secondary. Now all secondary station synchronize their clocks and hopping sequence with the primary in order to communicate it. Okay, so that's all about the primary and all the secondary part. Now the scatter net you can see it is the combination of piconets. Okay, there are two piconets. It is the combination of piconets. Okay, the piconets can be combined to form a scatter net. Now, in a scatter net, a secondary station in one piconet can be a primary station in another piconet. Okay. Now this station can receive messages from the primary in the first piconet as a secondary and acting as the primary, deliver them to secondary in the second piconet. That message can be delivered to the secondary in the second piconet. Now a station, therefore a station can be a member of a 2 piconet, we can say. The Bluetooth, just a matter of again small information that you must be knowing, but a Bluetooth device has a built-in short-range radio transmitter, okay, which the current data, the current data rate is 1 Mbps with a 2.4 gigahertz of bandwidth, which means that there is a possibility of interference between the IEEE 802.11b wireless LANs and Bluetooth LANs. Now talking about Bluetooth layers, now here you can see that Bluetooth uses several layers that do not exactly match those of internet model we have defined in the previous lectures, but these are the layers that the Bluetooth comprise of: application profile, data layer, audio layer, control, L2 cap layer. L2 cap means L2 here represents a logical link, and L2 cap is logical link control and adaptation protocol. Logical link control and adaptation protocol, which is on top of a baseband layer, and baseband, underneath the baseband acts as a communication between the L2 cap layer and the radio layer. So like I said, the Bluetooth device has a built-in short range transmitter. Talking about the single secondary communication, if the piconet has only one secondary, then the TDMA operations, TDMA basically stands for time division multiple access. Time division multiple access operation is very simple if the piconet has only one secondary station. The time is divided into slots of 625 microseconds, right? And the primary uses even numbered, the primary station uses even numbered slot, that is 0, 2 and so on, 4 and so on. Okay. The secondary uses odd number slot, you can see here, that is 1, 3. They are used by the secondary. Secondary is using the odd numbers to send the data, and primary is using the even numbers to send the data. Okay. Now the TDD TDMA, that is the time division duplex and time division multiple access, allows the primary and the secondary to communicate in half duplex mode. Okay, that is, you know what is half duplex mode, right? So in slot 0 you can see the primary sends the secondary, the primary sends the data and secondary receives it, and in slot number 1 the secondary sends and the primary receives it, and the cycle repeats so on. Okay, so this was about single secondary communication. Now multiple secondary communication, let us understand what is a multiple secondary communication. As the name suggests, what has been done in the single secondary, here multiple secondary communication takes place. So the primary, just to elaborate this more, in slot 0 the primary sends a frame to secondary 1, and in slot 1 this only secondary 1 sends a frame to primary, because the previous frame was addressed to secondary 1 and the other secondaries are silent, other secondary stations are silent. In slot number 2 the primary sends a frame to secondary 2, and in slot number 3 only secondary 2 sends a frame to primary, because the previous frame was addressed to secondary 2, and the secondary stations and the other secondary stations, if at all they are there, like in this case the for the second cycle, the 1 is the other secondary station. So these other secondary station become silent, and likewise the cycle continues. Okay, so this was the multiple secondary communication, and like I said, is follow the same pattern that the all secondary listen on even numbered slots, but only one secondary sends it in any odd number slot. And this is the frame format for a Bluetooth, that 72 bits as used for access code, 54 bits for the header, 0 to n bits for data. Now this 0 to n can be 250 for one slot frame, 1490 bits for 3 slot frame, and n can be also maximum 2740 bits for maximum 5 slot frame. That is all about the data. In the header, you can see the header has various again sub fields, that is address, 3 bits of address, 4 bytes of type, 1 byte of flow control, 1 byte of acknowledgement, and 1 byte of sequence number, and 8 bits of HEC. HEC is the header error correction. So if at all any error correction has to be done in the header, that data will be stored in the 8 bits of HEC. So that becomes total of this 18-bit part is repeated 3 times. This particular 18-bit part is repeated 3 times to become a 54 bits. Alright. Okay, so this was all about the frame format types. Now L2 cap, just to understand a little bit more about the L2 cap data packet format. L2 cap data packet format has 2 bytes of length, 2 bytes of channel ID, and again 0 to 65,535 bytes of data and control. Okay, so that is all about the L2 cap data packet format. Hope so you have learned a few interesting things about Bluetooth as well as how technology works. We all, most of us all use Bluetooth depending on the devices, but we don't know the actual reason behind it, the name reason behind it. It's a pretty much interesting reason, and how the technology was evolved, and how which technology the Bluetooth works. So since we use it on a daily basis, we should know these technologies, and hope so that today's lecture was interesting and we have learned something. So let us stop here, and if at all you have any queries, any doubts, you can post it in the comment section down below, and share it to your friends, those who frequently use Bluetooth. Okay, so that they, even if they are not belonging to computer science field, but they do use Bluetooth, so they should know about how these technologies works. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section down below, or you can ask me in the WhatsApp group as well. The query will be addressed to all the students, and it will be addressed as soon as possible. Okay, so that's all for today's lecture. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.